That was exceptional, mate. That was just beautiful. I think you should play without trumpets, of course. Although we need trumpets for Hoenn, but I think you should just play the soundtrack of the entirety of tonight. Can you do that?
No problem. Let me just get right to that for you.
Fantastic. Let's just take a walk through Hoenn, right? Let's go through Route 101 to start us off.
Yeah, that's
just
right.
To be clear, didn't do a fumble in that, and who wants to be a Pokemon?
Not when Hoenn is your most known and favorite region. Yeah, you wouldn't make that mistake.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
Shout out to episode 4 of Pokemon Now.
Hello, Bradley. Hello. How the heck are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Pokemon Trainer Mike. How are you doing?
I'm living the dream, mate. We've had some fun. We've done Kanto, we've done Johto, and now we're going to step into Hoenn, and I am beyond excited and happy to talk all things Hoenn, because there's so much about. I know Hoenn's one of your favorites as well, and I don't know a lot about how it started, mate. So I'm buzzing to dive in.
Yeah, I mean, I think before we jump in to obviously the Hoenn journey and everything Hoenn, we do need to mention the sponsor of today's episode.
Absolutely. Take it away, my friend. Take it away.
Well, on the Nintendo DS and even further back than that, there was the brain training, if you remember it. I think all of us have done it in some form or another. But before that, there was a room, the Trickmaster's room, in fact, and he's doing a 20% off sale right now, plus a free HM of your choice. So surf on over, do those mental arithmetic challenges. You think quantum theory, string theory, 5D chess, that's all difficult. You've seen nothing yet. So use the strength that you have inside. Get in, get out in a flash, and rock smash yourself to victory. Fly over there now for, again, a 20% off and, of course, a free HM of your choice. Just mention the PokeCast with Brad and Mike when you see him.
Terms and conditions may apply. Only one HM per person per ticket. Just need to close out with that.
Of course.
Shout out to the Tripmaster.
Shout out to Tripmaster. Great time.
Great time.
Before Google was there to solve the problems for us.
You had to work it out yourself. Do you remember, mate? You arrived in Slateport City. You had a bit of a walk around. Maybe you went into the old Pokemon contest room, and you took up north. But you couldn't go on the Cycling Road. I think it was called Cycling Road. You couldn't go on there without a bike, so you went up. And you just wander into a house, and there's a guy hiding somewhere in that house. You had to click on a stool or a table or a plant pot, and he would jump out, and your adventure would begin. Right, fun for all the family. There we go. Hashtag Trickmaster.
I mean, when just a quick thing there. When you said, when you entered Slateport City, I know when I entered Slateport City for the first time because I was thinking I was about to get married. The church bells just coming on in full swing, dun 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 dun.
Oh, soundtrack of Hoenn, man, every single time, mate. Oh, Hoenn, Bradley.
Where did it start? Where did it start for you?
We straight in. Where did it first start?
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Well, we've talked around the first experiences, right?
Yeah.
Of what it was, right? So when we hit Hoenn time was a time where I think how old would we have been? When was your? I need to Google the release date here. Hold on, let me just work this out. Ruby and Sapphire UK release date, just so I can work out an age, right? 2003.
Oh, 3 is it? And 3.
The 25th of July, 2003. I mean, quick maths is telling me that I would have been 12 years old. Good Lord.
I would have been 10.
So, at the age of 12, finally understanding a bit better with what Pokemon was.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what year you would be in school there. 7, 8.
Year 8.
Year 8?
12 would be year 8, yeah. I think.
Yeah, there you go, year 8. So you have some understanding, right? I remember first seeing Hoenn, right?
Yeah.
Was it Pocket World or Pocket Monsters? Pocket World, I think it was called. It was not an official labeled magazine, but it was a magazine that came out. And I remember the first time I was at a friend's house, he'd bought it. We were opening through and going through, and then the first page that came over, I saw Kyogre and Groudon on one page, and then on the other side, I saw like little screenshots of the game. Like surfing, you know, like the whale-ma looking thing you would surf on in Gen 3.
Yeah.
The main character sat on one of those, in some of the various screenshots of the scenery. And then the next page, first time I've seen this guy.
Oh, shout out to Sponser.
This guy, and I was just in love. Now, I can't remember if that was the first time or because the anime kind of threw us in with the first experiences of it. So I remember my cousin ringing us saying, "Oh, there's like a omnibus, if that's the right terminology, of Pokemon on Sky One. Whether Sky One's a thing anymore, I've no idea." And it was Ash going through the Johto League, so I was like, "All right, I'll come down." So I watched him beat Gary. What a moment that was! The cheers, like absolute screaming when he beat Gary for the first time. By the way. We're going a bit all over the shop here, but this is legit what happened, right?
I'm locked in.
So watch that. So we watched that. Watched someone beat Gary. Wonderful. Next battle, he battles. Was it Harrison? I can't remember the trainer's name. Might be, but he throws out a Kecleon to start the battle, right? So this is the first time dipping into Gen 3, right? So Kecleon pops out. Good lord, right? Kecleon. And then he ends with Blaziken, and Blaziken pops out. So it's the first time we've seen Blaziken. And I just remember watching him looking like he looks absolutely incredible. And of course, we know Ash goes on to lose. Unfortunately, Charizard doesn't. I mean, there was a type advantage clearly, but we'll not talk about that.
No.
Blaziken did beat him. And then it was the first 2 episodes, I think it was, of Pokemon Advanced, which was Ruby and Sapphire. After those ones, and I just remember the intro, seeing Mudkip, Trico, Torchic on the screen, oh my lord, it was amazing. So I can't remember if that was the first one or it was the magazine. It would have been very close together in the same week. That's the first time that I learned about Gen 3. What about you? What was your very first experience of Gen 3?
So For me, I was very much into the anime at that point, but I don't really recall seeing, like, I mean, the runs that I was watching at the time, they must have just been some of the older ones. So the first time that I was introduced was when my mum had bought it for myself and my little brother at the time. So the first time I ever knew, heard, even thought about Pokemon Sapphire and Ruby was when we were presented them, just like whenever you're getting your starter 3 Pokemon. And she's got them out there. She's like, which one do you want? And I've got my little cutscene in my head. Do you take Sapphire, Din, or the Ruby, Din? And I'm thinking, which one do I take? And my little brother would get the other one. So that was the first time that I was introduced to it. And at the time, I had no idea just how my life would change and how incredible the journey would be from then with Pokemon.
So good, mate. Right. Okay, so this is like the red and blue pill situation here,
exactly,
isn't it? So
exactly.
So what did you pick? What was your first Pokemon game for Gen 3?
So
which pill did you take?
I didn't even hesitate. I looked at them both and I just got called to this calming, just pearlescent blue that was on the cartridge.
Sapphire! Ah, lush!
And it was, I never looked back. Team Aqua, and obviously I didn't know at the time really, that there were going to be completely different variations and such. But
sure,
looking back, I think I made the right call. I'm pretty happy with my choice.
So you're presenting with the games. Was it the physical box you were presented with, or was it the cartridges you were presented with?
It was the cartridges. Mum had the boxes. She took them both out, and then obviously had them both in her hand.
So
like
you
this.
purely went off the color. So you
Yeah.
didn't see Kyogre and Groudon at this stage.
You
purely
do. You do. So you see the little sticker on the cartridge itself, the little cartridge. It actually has.
Is it?
It actually has Kyogre and like an outline and Pokemon Sapphire edition.
Does it really?
If my memory,
You learn something. Listen, you learn something new. If that's true, you learn something new every time. I never knew that. I thought it was purely color.
Okay, so it might be purely color, but okay, so you're not wrong. I don't know why.
In your head, so you'd seen Kyogre eventually. Then whenever you looked at it, you could just see Kyogre.
That's
in it,
right. That's right.
That's it. Yeah, no, I hear you, man.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're completely right. It was just red and blue. Obviously, I've got, I'm thinking back to my childhood, and yeah, I saw those two. I was given those two. I've just sent Pokemon Trainer Mike 2 images of Sapphire and Ruby, and it was literally just I was handed those two, and that was
mate.
There it is.
The feels looking at those, man. The absolute feels, mate.
It brings me back.
The absolute feels, man. So mine, right? So obviously, I told you in the last couple of podcasts there were birthdays and Christmases.
Yes.
I got the Pokemon games, but at this stage, I was very more aware that things were coming out because we'd seen the anime.
Yeah.
We'd seen things in magazines, same with release dates and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And I remember leading up to it on my mum. So we've just seen the date there. What was it? It was the 25th of July, right? 2003. Was that the date?
Yeah.
So the entirety of July on the calendar, right? I'm not even joking. It was like 24 days till Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire comes out. 23 every single. I destroyed a calendar. I got wrong for doing that, by the way, because she couldn't write anything else on it, right? And I was hoovering and I would wash dishes and I was like, Mom, please. And she never said she would give us it, by the way. I was doing all this stuff anyway in the hopes that it was going to happen. And I was like, Mom, if I do this, can you could you buy it? And she was like, well, I don't know. It's not your birthday. It's not Christmas. There was a lot of that going through the month, right?
Yeah.
And I remember the week before it came out, we had a trip down to York. And I remember walking down the streets of York and there was a game, whether it's still there or not. But outside the game, there was these two huge, the cardboard cutouts, cardboard cutouts, Groudon and Kyogre just in the doorway before you walk into the game. And I was like, Mom, that's the game. That's the game. She's like, oh, okay, yeah. And I was like, Mom, come and have a look. And she's like completely disinterested, obviously, just like what Becca's like now, bless her. I walk in with my mum and I'm like pointing and going, that's the one I want, because that's seeing Groudon. And I was absolutely smitten, like Groudon 100%.
Groudon, it was Ruby for you, so we're on both the
opposites.
Yeah, the opposite sides.
And the day came and I'd done something, I can't remember, hoovered or washed or whatever, and I was like, Mom, like, it's out today, please. And she did, and she took us to the Metro Centre. Huge shopping mall over in the UK. Went there.
Oh, yeah.
Went in the game and procured Pokemon Ruby. And I just remember on the way home, this is actually quite... So I've just a quick snapshot. I went to the local market this weekend and picked up... Someone's made an actual coaster, and I'm showing the people that can't hear, someone's made a coaster, like for cups, etc., but put the box art of Ruby on the front, and on the back, the box art from the back to the bottom. And this is funny because on the way back home, I remember holding it like this and just looking, because on the back, for those that can't see, it's the first view of double battles. So you can see a Mudkip and a Taillow and a Torchic and a Zigzagoon having a double battle with the protagonist at the bottom. And I just remember seeing them and just be like, mind blown.
Yeah.
Absolute mind blown, man. So good. So good.
And I'm really looking forward to the one that you bought me, of course, as well. The Pokemon Sapphire one that you no doubt procured from the market. Thinking of obviously Brad's as well here. Very excited. Yeah.
It's gonna be a good post day for you. That's gonna be a great post day.
That's gonna be great. That's going to be great. I mean, if it gets lost in the post, which I'm sure it won't, but I'm sure you'll have an extra just to pass to me when we see each other next year. No,
you've got it. You've got it, mate. You've got it. You've absolutely got it.
I know you.
So you've got the game.
Yep.
You're booting it up. What was your first Pokemon that you selected out of the starters in Ruby and Sapphire? What was your starter?
Well,
I'm so hyped to hear. Come on.
I was a bit confused at first because it wasn't the traditional way of just going in and selecting it.
That wasn't, was it?
And I was going in there, and then there was like this panic music, and he's like, I think he's running, or it's like someone saying, "Help, help, come," sort of thing, and then we're like, what's going on, sort of thing. Yeah, okay, let's go. And then he's obviously wrestling a Puccina, I think it is. And he's like, quick, in my bag, help, there are 3 Pokeballs, a Pokemon in there, pick one and then let's pass on. And I'm frantically looking, and I was like, wait a second, I know what this is. I mean, this is going to be my Pokemon, but at the time I was really invested, so I was like, okay, a chicken, no thank you. We got a Gex lookalike, that looks pretty cool. I was close with Trico, but of course, there is absolutely no question. It had to be Mudkip, that cute little boy. I saw Mudkip. I've got Pokemon Sapphire, Water, and all that. It just felt wrong to do anything other than Mudkip on every level. And boy, was I happy with that decision. That was an incredible time. What about yourself? You, no doubt. I mean, you have got a Swampert there. Maybe your first one. Maybe you threw things off and you went with maybe Trico. What did you take in the end, Pokemon Trainer Mike?
So I don't remember selecting my first Pokemon at all. Like I've tried to think back. I don't have that memory stashed away, but it was, of course, there was not even a question when I was looking through them. I picked Mudkip as well. Now I've always been a fire person, so leading up, like I know I had Yellow and Crystal, etc., etc. Obviously, I was favoured to Charizard in Gen 1. I picked Cyndaquil during Gen 2.
Yeah.
So it was always kind of fire. But I knew what Blaziken looked like. I don't think I'd seen Sceptile at this point, but I'd obviously seen a picture of what Swampert looked like, and I was just like, Mudkip draws immediately. So yeah, went full Mudkip, mate.
I think every generation,
so
I think I picked Water. I think the first one I picked Squirtle, and I'm pretty sure the second one I picked Totodile.
You did. You picked
I wanted to pick Cyndaquil,
yeah.
but I looked at Totodile, yeah, and then now I've picked. I didn't think about this, yeah. No, Water every time so far.
That's interesting. There you are, then.
There you are. But no, it was it was a great. How would we have known at that point though how incredible this game was going to be? I mean, the soundtrack, in Littleroot Town was. I mean, it was absolute, and it just kept hitting. Every single the reimagining of like the Poke Center music and all these different places. They all just you listen to it, you know where you are, and that's one of the greatest things in Pokemon Ruby is just how incredible everything sounded.
It's a trumpet fanfare, isn't it? It's just like I'm a sucker for music that has trumpets playing. I don't know what it is that just get us every time. And Hoenn was just rich of all of it, and every single time, like even just every single battle theme, was epic. Like it made you feel epic. Like your rival battle theme was incredible. The gym leader battle theme was out of this world. Wild battle theme, Elite Four champion, even Team Aqua and Team Magma, like da 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 da. Oh, it's just every single. I love it, man. I love it. It's so good. It's so good.
Now, we already know the question that we have to ask, but we already know the answer to this question, and that is, were there any nicknames that were given in Gen 3?
No, I don't think so.
No,
none at all.
That's not us. We're not nicknaming people, but respect to those who are. But
absolutely true.
Yeah,
absolutely true.
A lot of people like to. Fair play.
A lot of people do every time, and to understand why, you need to listen back to episodes 1 and 2 if you haven't already. That's where that story comes from. But yes, no, there was no Swampy the Swampert or anything like that. It was purely Swampert, 100%.
All right, so I've actually got a little bit of a different sort of first little arc for us to go over.
Oh, I'm excited.
All right, so I wanted to go over. So there's a lot of different things that we're going to tackle with Hoenn. Lots of different places that we can go here. It's
going to be 3 podcasts long, by the way, just to be really clear.
For sure. So don't worry if you don't hear anything being taken or tackled. More will come. So sit back, enjoy your cup of tea, or doing the dishes, or the walk that you're on, or if you're watching on one of the platforms. Hello. So we're going to start with Pokemon Gym Leaders. very iconic. You know, it's everyone, when we start talking about them, we're all going to be able to go back to those gym leaders, to those battles, and just, you know, have a quick chat about them. You know, if anything stood out. So I've actually got the list here. We're going to start with number 1, which was in what city? Pokemon Trainer Mike.
Rustboro.
It was indeed. Sorry, just a mini Pokemon Air shout out just there for the question. But yeah, of course, it was Rustboro City. And we're, of course, fighting Roxanne.
She's
got 2 Pokemon.
She does. Geodude and Nosepass.
Indeed. And I didn't have any issues with this one because, of course, I mean, probably neither yourself either because we both had Mudkip.
I think we blazed through Roxanne. Yep, we were good with Roxanne.
Obviously, not too long later, but we get to our second gym in Dewford Town, of course, where we're fighting Brawly. And he has
legendary Super Saiyan. Sorry, wrong franchise. Sorry, moving on.
Copyright. But then he, of course, has his 2 Pokemon. Do you remember what they were?
Machop and Makuhita.
Exactly, and that was the first time at least
Makuhita
was shown about or I experienced Makuhita. What a powerful Pokemon that little boy is.
I'm pretty sure I whited out on that gym battle. I think I had to go to Granite Cave to do some training before I could go back and beat him.
Yeah,
I feel like.
I feel like that was quite similar to myself. Like I was, Makuhita just made quick work.
I love Makuhita, man. Look, his little face, man. Oh,
he's always smiling, isn't he? He's always happy. He's always happy. But yeah, I don't remember too many issues after that. You know, we saw the fight. A lot of the time, at least for myself, I don't know about you, but when I do get to the end of the gyms, my Pokemon are a little bit, you know, they've taken a few hits, and I like to try and just go all the way and not you know, go back to the Poke Center and you know, so I had a bit of a weak team, but then we obviously healed back up and we were sailing. The next one I had a little bit of a problem with. I remember this one. I really did. And it was Mouville City. Or Mouville. Morville?
I think it's called Morville. It was sign.
There it is. Swizine for me. Shout out to episode 2 of the podcast. And we're, of course, facing off against who's the gym leader?
Jolly good old Wattson.
Good old Wattson. He's just happy, isn't he? He's just smiling.
He's just happy to be here, mate.
He embodied the Makuhita.
He did. He actually did. He literally did.
And who were the 3 Pokemon that Wattson had?
Ooh, I'm going to get this wrong. I'm thinking of Emerald. I think his team changed Emerald, perhaps. I might be wrong there, too.
Okay.
I'm thinking he either had... No, the anime. Ignore the anime, Michael. Because in the anime, he had Voltorb, Magnemite, and Magneton. In the game, I believe he had... It was either... I might be wrong again. Did he... Was it that? Voltorb, Magnemite, Magneton. What a weird team. You would have thought Electric and Manectric would have made an appearance there. Maybe that is Emerald. Maybe it's wrong.
Emerald. You were spot on. It was Magnemite first, followed by Voltorb, and then, of course, Magneton. Afterwards.
I'll give you a quick... Can I throw in a quick throwback at this point?
Of course you can.
So, of course, if we've got Marshtomp at this stage, right, fully evolved, when it evolves at level 16, Mudkip, that is, it learns the move Mudshot.
What a great move. It was very helpful for me personally. What about yourself, Michael? Was that a very useful move for your Marshtomp?
Well, let's just bear in mind that Marshtomp is a ground Pokemon, and all of the Watson's electric attacks does diddly squat, so you could just melt it with Mudshot.
Yeah.
Now, for me, when my Mudkip started to evolve, and because it was a new evolution animation, I got all very excited. I was at my cousin's house and it was evolving, and I wasn't going to get upstairs in time to show them. So I cancelled my evolution of Mudkip at that point. Right?
Yeah.
Not knowing that Mudshot was a level up move at this stage, right? No idea.
Yeah.
So we got to level 17, evolved, showed them. Everyone was like, yeah, evolution looks amazing, looks really, really good. I can still hear the...
That first evolution as well.
Sick. So yeah, I went in that battle with Marshtomp just trying to water gun through that battle because I didn't know I missed Mudshot, right? So it was a bit harder for me. Anyway, there you go. Just a little segue there.
I love that.
Hard mode, right?
I absolutely love that. But yeah, I was trying to think because I died to this boss, and I also, like you, have Marshtomp. So I don't know what I died to, and then I remembered because
Try attack, maybe.
he didn't have try attack. So that's what I thought originally.
Unless it's Sonic Boom or something.
So yes, but Sonic Boom only did 20 exact damage, right? It was like a very specific move that would only do 20 damage, and that's it.
What was his moveset?
So his moveset was Shockwave, which wouldn't obviously affect us.
Thunderwave,
which wouldn't affect us.
Nope.
Sonic Boom, which 20.
Yeah.
It was Supersonic.
Oh, he was just confusing you the whole way.
It just wasn't.
Oh, no.
It didn't go very well. So it was a mixture of Sonic Boom and Supersonic, and then I remember missing with Mudshot.
Oh, it has low accuracy. That's true. That is true.
It has low
accuracy. You had a very unlucky battle, and that's what
wasn't
luck
good.
was on your side.
Yeah, wasn't.
I hear you.
But yeah, at that point, the team was starting to kind of come together.
We talked about with team. What haven't you talked about with team? Right, so go on. You're doing this first.
Well, if we speak about our team, we're going to be speaking about the team that we went in with the Elite Four with.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Right.
We'll get there.
I'm in.
All right.
I'm in. I'm excited.
All right. So for everyone else, what was gym number 4? Do you remember what gym number 4 was?
I do. It was Flannery.
It was
the fire type, and she had Slugma.
Yeah.
It was either another Slugma or it was Macargo.
Yeah.
And Torkoal. What a Pokemon, by the way.
What a Pokemon. Indeed, it was 2 Slugmas.
It was 2 Slugmas.
Yeah. What an incredible Pokemon, Torkoal. When I saw that Pokemon, I was like, oh my god. Wow.
Monster. Because he was using... Was it Overheat? Yes, he was using Overheat at that stage. Yeah. Scary. But times 4, again, Marshtomp sailing through. I don't think I had much trouble with that.
No, Lava Ridge was just super plain. We're plain sailing at that point. We're plain sailing.
Lava Ridge Town, let's go. Oh, man.
Overheat badge. And obviously we got Overheat as a reward.
TM50.
We then move into the one which I struggled with the most. This was definitely the one that
was hard.
I really struggled with. I remember just going to bed angry. I just couldn't do it, and I didn't know what to do. It was, of course,
Norman.
It was Norman, and he had 3 very annoying Pokemon.
Yes, he did. He had Slack Off, Vigor Off, and Slacking.
So that's actually incorrect. He had Slacking, Vigor Off, and Slacking.
He had 2 Slackings.
He had level 28 Slacking, level 30 Vigor Off, and level 31 Slacking.
For real? Wow. I've done his anime team there. Wow. 2 Slacking.
Norman himself uses 2 Slacking.
I totally believe you.
Yeah. Have a little look.
I totally believe you. He does? What? Mate, like...
I was just praying because I didn't understand the whole he's loafing around.
Traunt.
Yeah.
Was it Traunt?
It was Traunt, yeah. It's just loafing around. I just didn't understand it, so I was just praying. I was just sitting there like mashing buttons, like when you press the A button on when you throw a Pokeball and you're just spamming it. You're like, and then you miss it, and then you just sort of spam it, and you look away like, oh, I don't care. Oh, I've got it. Oh, yeah, cool.
I did the exact same thing. Yeah, that was a timing match that, and I think I had to. Did I have Hariyama at this point? I think I had Hariyama, and Hariyama did most of the bulk of the work, I think, in that one. But he's very slow too, so it was a toss up. Anyway, yes, I had a couple of I had a lot of frustration and wipeouts in that one too. 100%.
Yeah. My Pokemon at that point, I remember them, but I remember that they're like looking back, the defense of the team was very low because I had a second evolution of Ralts, I think at that point. That's what I was sort of running with.
Earlier, right?
Yeah. I had... Obviously, at that point, it was a Marshtomp, or it might have even been a Swampert. I'm not too sure. But I had the... What was the flying one? It was Staraptor. Swellow and
or Pelipper.
Yeah, Taillow into Swellow. Sorry, Taillow into Swellow.
Yeah.
Staraptor was Gen 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I always had them since the Pidgeotto or Pidgeot. I always had that first
the regional
Taillow.
bird, right? Yeah, man. I'd Swallow too.
Yeah,
I'd Swallow too.
So yeah, it was Swellow, the regional bird. That's what we went with. And Slacking just sort of made some quick work.
He was a monster. He was a monster. Did he have guts? So when it was paralyzed or whatever, and its attack went through, I can't remember. I just remember it just annihilating with. Oh no, it was Facade. Was it Facade?
Facade.
You know
yeah.
when you get a status ailment, it was like double the damage. I'm sure it was Facade.
70 to 140. Yeah, 70 base into 140.
Yeah, it rings the bell now.
Although I remember I was running my Pelipper at the time. I definitely had that because I was doing the whole stockpile,
and spit up.
Yeah,
nice, man.
Which did
Great
nothing
mechanic
to Slacking, by the way.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Slacking wasn't having any of it, so I'm that because I have no fighting Pokemon. Now, notoriously, I don't really run a fighting Pokemon. I don't know why. I did in the end, obviously, have a Hariyama, at some point. But at that point, I didn't. So I had nothing that was super effective against him. And that's why I was having such a tough time.
This is making us want to play Ruby right now. Generally, it's making us want to play it. So after that, go on. So go on your floor. Yeah.
So gym number 6, of course, where we first encountered. I think we first encountered Kecleon here.
We did in front of the gym.
It was
in Fortree City.
Who was the gym leader?
It was Winona Ryder.
It was
just Winona.
Just Winona. And she had 4 Pokemon. Do you remember who they were?
Pelipper, Swellow, Altaria, Tropius?
Not Tropius.
Not Tropius? Oh, I'm not sure on the 4th one then. Nah.
One of my favorite Pokemon from Gen 2. One of them.
Skarmory,
that
was it.
What to see that boy come
What a
back.
lineup, by the way. Yeah. What a lineup.
Swellow, Pelipper, Skarmory, and Altaria. Wow.
It's a powerful team.
Wow.
Like Altaria's a dragon as well, right?
Yeah.
I remember getting annihilated on
the Altaria.
Every single time. I could not beat it. I had to work out. You can get Ice Beam of someone. I don't know if you buy it from. Oh, I think you can get it from Lily Cove Department Store, and you could get all the way down there.
Yes.
Without doing that gym badge. And I remember going to the department store, getting. Somebody told me to go get Ice Beam. Picked up Ice Beam, taught Marsh Stomp it, went back in, and then just rest is history after that. But I had to go. I fainted so many times. I had to get Ice Beam to get through that one. Definitely did.
It was one of those ones where an electric Pokemon worked really well. So for me, I
didn't have one.
I have my trusty MANELECTRIC.
MANELECTRIC. Sorry, come again?
MANELECTRIC.
The MANELECTRIC, do you mean?
I do mean a Manectric, yes.
Oh, Suicide.
Yes, that's why sign. Yeah, that's right. So when we're kids, we know there's no phonetic. There's no
Pokemon phonetic alphabet, mate. No. You say what you see.
Say what you see. Shout out to the Poképhrase. There it is. But MANELECTRIC. I'm gonna keep calling it MANELECTRIC. MANELECTRIC made short work of them.
Oh, you would have blasted through that then, right?
You see, my problem was that I really enjoy Thunder, but Thunder notoriously was actually a very risky move to play because of its low PP. But I mean, it's 120 power, and it's like that's amazing. But it's the 70 accuracy. And whenever it's raining, no problem because it's guaranteed to hit. But the 70 accuracy otherwise, that.
What an animation in the game, by the way. I just remember thunderclouds, and it would be like, oh, mate, beautiful.
The first time I did it, and then they flew up in the air, And I was like, no way could I do this. And it worked. I was like, oh my
Thunder hits someone in the air. Amazing, man. And you just, it's so good. It's so good.
But after we managed to get through gym number 6 with Fortree, we of course are stopping off in where?
Moz Deep City.
Moz Deep City. This was the one where you had all these different these escalator like kind of things, contraptions where you'd be moved and you'd like be trying to get to the right place, and I just kept getting to the wrong
puzzles.
one. Yeah, you know. But again, just a quick shout out if you did do the Trickmaster's room, you would be well prepared for this puzzling encounter. That is the Trickmaster's room. PokeCast with Brad and Mike. But yeah, what so for this Psychic Gym leaders, what were we facing?
It was our first double battle gym leader. So good. So Liza and Tate. We had Solrock and Lunatone.
And what incredible
what a
Pokemon.
Battle. What a battle.
There I was going in Pokemon training, Mike. I'll set the scene for you. No problems. Got through all the others. I mean, well, I was actually taking quite a lot of damage, but we got to the end. I've got my double Pokemon coming out. I had Swampert and I had Manectric. Both out. Boom. We've got this. No worries. Manectric, I'm looking at and thinking, Rock, they're going to be immune to Thunder, so I'm worried at that point. I had Overheat on him, I think, for some reason. And then I saw my Swampert, and I thought, Earthquake. Seems to hit both of them, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think Earthquake hits both, right? So
I can see where this is going.
Manectric says goodbye, friend. He dies, and then both Solrock and Lunatone have the ability Levitate.
I knew it. Oh Lord.
And that stung. And I had Ancient Power thrown at me by Lunatone, and I had some sort of fire, like some sort of rock move. It was, I don't know if it was rock throw power gem or something. I don't know what it was Solrock used, but at that point I was so sad. I was like, no, what just happened?
My Manectric.
Because I pressed Earthquake, right? And it just sort of went through. And I was like, it didn't target. And okay, never mind, sort of thing. It must just do itself. And yeah, we learned a lot that fight.
We live and learn, my friend. We live and learn. I had my lineup was Swampert and Aggron at this stage. And I just remember Aggron and Swampert just annihilating. I had either Muddy Water or Surf at this stage. Knock them down.
Muddy Water wouldn't have worked, to be very clear. Because Muddy Water is a ground move. I mean, no, it's not. It's clearly a water move.
Yeah, you've got this. I mean, the colouring of the brown water throws you, but yes,
excuse me.
So I'm sure, I think, thinking out loud, because to get the most, you had to learn Surf, so I'm pretty sure I got rid of Muddy Water for Surf in the end, but I had Protect on Aggron, so Protect went up, Surf, just jobs are good, and I didn't have much problem at all with Solrock and Lunatone.
Ludicolo. I remember that Pokemon. I was like, this is awesome.
Ludicolo.
Because it's like grass and water, and he's got like Rain Dish or something, and it's like, cool. Then Rain Dance, and he's healing, it's brilliant.
Great Pokemon.
Loved it.
Gen 3's Pokedex was insane, by the way. Like, I can't think of a bad Pokemon in that dex. Like, every single one, I'm like, I'll run that on a team. Yep, I'll run that one on a team too. So good, man. Sorry, go on, you were saying.
No, there were a lot of times where I was looking, because I remember just talking about Pokedex Pokemon really rough, just before we get into Zootropolis. I remember seeing the boss battle, or one of the leaders of Aqua running, I think it was Mightyena, or it was my rival. I don't remember which one, but I saw Mightyena come out, and I got so annoyed. Because I didn't know what Intimidate did back then, but I just thought, like, I didn't know Special Attack and Attack, and I just, every time Mightyena came out, and he just Intimidate, I was like, I always felt bad when I was like, oh, go on, all right, fine, I lose some attack because of him, and he's a strong old boy, that Mightyena. I loved Houndoom. Houndoom was the boy from Gen 2.
Houndoom.
Absolute.
Houndoom.
And then I was like, Poochyena, but then I saw Mightyena, I was like, oh boy,
he's a big boy.
That's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
So
He's a
yeah,
big
I'm
dog.
gonna actually just take a quick side note before we get to Zootropolis. I'm just gonna go through
Go on,
a few Pokemon, just a few notable mentions. All right, we
Go
can't
on.
go without our Zigzagoon, of course. Everyone's HM unit of choice.
D. All right.
Zigzagoon
Well,
is yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't do that. I had
Oh
the HMs was split amongst the team. I didn't
wow.
have an HM Pokemon, like all of my team. I'm pretty sure Swampert in the end literally had Surf, Waterfall, and Dive out of 3 of his 4 moons at one point. I'm fairly certain.
That is rough. That is rough. I think I made sure
It
that my
is.
main Pokemon would never get a HM and would be the one that yeah.
I can't believe I did that. Could you remove HM moves in Gen 3? I feel like you. Oh yeah, move
Yeah,
deleters. How it was in
move deleter
Lily
definitely.
Cove.
Yeah, you could
You could do HMs in Gen 3.
You
Yeah,
could
okay,
do
that's
Gen.
probably what it
Yes,
was.
yes.
Yeah, that's what it was.
You couldn't in Gen
Yeah.
2 or 1 though, right?
No, you cannot. It was GG if you total Pokemon in HM.
Yeah.
Game over. Like game over.
You know, we obviously had our Wurmple going into Beautifly and Dustox. Don't know about
Definitely.
you.
Who did you run?
Anytime I got that Dustox, I wasn't very happy, mate. I wanted that Beautifly. You know what I'm saying?
Beautifly. I loved Beautifly at the start, man. Like it was a great Pokemon to have. Definitely.
It was so weak. Like he just died to anything. But Beautifly was incredible.
I still remember when I got to Dewford Town. It was Mudkip, Tailor, Aaron, Makuhita, and Beautifly at that point. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
So good, man. Oh, it's making us want to play
just wanna
so
play
badly.
it. I just want to play it now. You know what we should do? We should just do a podcast where we're both playing for the first time and we're just talking about. Dude, we should do that. We should just talk about the generation while we're just playing it. You know, and we're just going through it. You know.
I need to get me Game Boy Advance SP. Let's do this.
I
I'm
need
in.
to.
Locking in.
We should
Locked in.
so do that on a Tuesday. Just an hour of like chat, PokeCast with Rab and Mike, playing some Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. Come join us.
I'm in.
God,
Totally in.
On a winter day, you know, it's cold outside, and we
Stoke the fire, boot up the Game Boy Advance, away we go, mate. Let's go.
That would be lovely. We'll get the camera set up so that we can, you know, people can watch and you know we can just talk about it as we go.
In.
Oh, mate,
that's sick. Right.
So I've got to go through the honorable mentions like Wingull. All right. If you weren't here for that Pokemon Air episode, which was episode 2 or 3, where the impression of Wingull was said, you missed out on gold. So I would strongly suggest you go and see that.
We didn't. I'm joking. It can be a missed one. You can go past it. No, I'm joking. It was hilarious. You need to listen to it. A meme was born. Was born.
We had, of course, Ralts, you know, God of Wire. What an incredible
great
Pokemon.
line.
Great
line. Ninja and in the future, Gallade as well.
Yeah,
Gallade. Great
Pokemon. Which I really did not like. Pokemon. It was God of Wire or nothing. God of Wire or nothing. Just for myself, obviously the Ninjask, and I remember getting that Shed Ninja, by the way, accidentally. Like I genuinely didn't know that it happened, and then yeah, it did. I had the empty slot. I don't know why I had the empty slot, but I did. I know why actually. I was leveling up Pokemon. And I didn't want any of my high guys to get it. Like, so what I did, because like you said, I loved the Pokemon. I just wanted to like get a second team, you know, so I could chop and change. And so I was leveling up my Loudred, it was at the time. I think I was leveling up my Marill as well. I was doing like lots of different things. And Nincada was obviously there as well with False Swipe, because I gave False Swipe to Nincada.
Of course, yeah.
So I could catch Pokemon at 1 HP. And it evolved, and I was like, "Oh, cool, Ninjask." And I was like, "Right, okay, we're going through it." And I looked at my, thing, and I went, "Whoa, what is that thing? 1 HP or like whatever it was? Like, no, it wasn't 1; it was like 6 HP or something." And I was like,
"No, it was 1. It was 1. It had one.
It was
1
single
hit point.
There was a thing which was Focus Sash, or it was Focus Band, or Wonder Guard. I don't remember. I didn't know its ability was Wonder Guard. But there was a thing which you could put the item on it and it would survive a 1 co-hit ability. Technically, somehow it would do that. And yeah, I was like, this is useless. 1 health. You know, everything's gonna kill it. And I just tried it out, and like You know, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't like the strongest thing in the world, but it does have a lot of attack, and
it was cool to play with. Like
it
only
was like
super
awesome.
effective attacks hurt it. It's brilliant.
It was like nothing would affect it, and then someone used Toxic, and that was
GG.
Yeah, that was it. What else do we have that is of note? That I really want to just Medicham. Gotta shout out Medicham.
So I was never a fan of Tate and Medicham until recently, and I don't know why, but I've suddenly had a love for them. Recently, anyway. Yeah, I didn't used to like them, but the wonderful Pokemon.
I love the opposite types, right? Like fight and psychic, you know, or the grass and of course lantern, right? Which is, you know, water, electric and stuff, right? So really like those. What else are worth notable shout outs?
The C dot line through to Shiftry.
Yep.
Shiftry was a one, and Ludicolo. I think they were version exclusives, right?
Yeah,
I'm fairly certain.
I had a Ludicolo, I think, and then you must have had the Shiftry.
Great Pokemon.
Sharpedo, big shout, Sharpedo.
Oh, Carvana, nah. Yeah, man, 100%.
I'm sorry, but whoever picks Carvana over Sharpedo, I don't know, man. You know, hey, I mean, look.
Just happy to be here.
Sharpedo is, you know, it's the one. You know.
I'm bringing up the Pokemon, the Pokedex as well here. I need to have a look as well.
Yeah, I'm just on Cerebi.
Tailo. Oh, Shroomish and Breloom, man. Breloom. What a great Pokemon, by the way.
Zangoose.
Oh, Zangoose and Seviper.
Zangoose was an absolute brute. Like, he was strong. Why did I like Zangoose? I like Zangoose because he had Toxic Boost. Or he had something. And then I remember picking up an item which made him poisoned or something. And then it did like 1.5 damage or something. It was crazy. And he was just absolutely like demolishing my opponents. He was, I'm pretty sure. So that was...
So did he not have an ability that stopped him from being poisoned? Or burned or something?
He had immunity. One or the other. It's immunity or Toxic Boost.
Oh, cool, right.
And so I had it. I had it on my Zangoose.
Fence sound or something. Right, okay, got
and
it.
Yeah,
See it.
I think at least. I mean, I just remember wanting to make him poisoned. Altaria, oh my god, you just can't not call out Altaria.
The Aaron line, Aaron, Lairon, and then Aggron. Aggron. What a Pokemon, mate. Honestly. I've recently had a love for Swalot recently in Gulpin. Never really, but I really like Swalot. And again, you really like the mechanic of spit up and swallow, right?
Yeah.
So great Pokemon for that, right?
You know, when I'm
Go on.
When I'm looking through the rock Pokemon, you know, and I remember I'm being brought back to when we got those fossils, or when we were like looking through that sort of like sandstorm area. And then we, of course, we had the choice, right? So we had, you know, would you like the Armaldo or Armadillo, which is what I called him? That was what...
Armadillo,
that's what I thought his name was. Or would you like the Cradilly, Lilleep, I think it was, or something, right? I think those were the choices.
Cradilly, yeah.
And I picked Armadillo. But I really regretted it because I remember like really wanting the Cradilly. I remember seeing it somewhere, and I was like,
Pokemon.
I was just like, that's so cool.
I'm sure the champion Steven used the Cradilly because I got stuck in that Pokemon. That's the first time I saw that Pokemon in the champion battle, and I could not work out what its type was. And I kept getting beat. He's to destroy his mate.
That was really cool actually back then because you wouldn't know what the types were, so you would have to be like, what does it look like? And
have to try and work it out.
Milotic, huge shout out.
I knew you were going to say Milotic.
Shout out. Gotta be done. Obviously, shout out to Cast Form and the first Pokemon that would sort of change its appearance depending on the type of weather.
Correct. Duskull and Dusclops. Dusclops, great Pokemon. Love Dustops. Then Absol.
Oh, Tropius, Absol, yeah. Absol,
what
huge.
A Pokemon.
You know, it was like the Pokemon that, like, if you liked Eevee and you liked Espeon and Umbreon, then Absol was just like this little nod to you. You know, it was just this little, you know, here's the fastest Pokemon in the game. There you go.
Absol is a fan favorite, very much a fan favorite. A lot of people Absol's favorite Pokemon, totally. I loved Glalie, by the way.
Huge shout. Never caught it, but when I faced it in the Elite Four, I was scared.
So I never caught it, and I never used it as a playthrough. But in a Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, again, probably for one of the next podcasts, there was a demo of that game before the game actually came out, and at the end of it, you could either pick a Steelix or a Glalie to send your game because they had the Mega Stones, because they introduced Mega Evolution, of course. And I remember having Glalie on my team, and Mega Glalie, he had Freeze Dry, so it was like Freeze Dry was a nice attack that was super effective against water Pokemon.
Yeah. 70 attack went up to one, like it went all the way up after. Yeah,
I loved it. Sorry, I digress.
No, hey, it's brilliant. You know, it's brilliant.
Walrein. Sorry?
Walrein.
That's
Ian. What I called him.
Spheal and Celio, great Pokemon. And then, oh my lord, the Bagon line, Shelgon. I remember my Shelgon evolving, because he was on my team when my Shelgon first
I'm sorry, I'm really
South.
sorry, but you've skipped over a very notable shout out here.
Is it Relicanth?
Oh, of course it's Relicanth. That boy was so important to this game.
That's importance, yes.
He had no right being as important as he was in this goddamn game.
Him and Wailord, good lord.
Like,
him and Wailord.
That little rockfish was so important.
You couldn't write it. Couldn't write it.
But yeah, please.
When Shelgon evolved, and I saw Salamence at level 50 for the first time.
Just like you, when I saw Shelgon evolve into Salamence. Wow. I didn't expect that.
What a cool Pokemon. What a cool. Because there's two pseudo-legendaries in this one.
Yeah, I know where you're going. Yeah.
And then into one of my favorites, into the Metagross line. Like, what a Pokemon. When Champion Steven threw Metagross out for the first time, I was in absolute awe. I was like, what is that metal spider doing on my screen? It's absolutely beautiful. Just stunning, man. What a Pokemon, man.
So,
what a Pokemon.
So Metagross or Metagross?
I mean... Metagross, I'll probably say.
I always called it Metagross.
So I called it Gross, whatever, Metagross, but it's Gross. It is Metagross.
Wow, the first time I think that I actually said it correctly. Wow. I mean, I'll take that moment.
Well played, mate. Well played.
Thank you. I mean,
you're welcome.
It's not like it's your favorite Pokemon, so you should know how to say it. But yeah, anyway, and then we of course go on to the last couple, which were the Reggies, which we'll talk about in another podcast. We'll talk about Latias and Latios in another podcast, and we'll also talk about the legendaries in the next podcast. But for this one,
so good.
We will finish. We do need to finish up the gym leaders.
We do. Go on. We do.
So we have one more, and this was the Pokemon gym leader where I fell in love with a Pokemon. Mm-hmm. Michael.
You fell in love with the Pokemon.
Yeah, I fell in love with the Pokemon, and I must have it. That's what I was thinking. And then I did some weird things in order to acquire it, and I'll explain what I did. Because there was some weird tech that had to be done to get this Pokemon, and it was explained to you as well by someone. It was like, you know, and I remember going in there, and
so good.
I haven't listened to that once, and I just remembered it. It just came back. It flooded back in my head. But of course, we are in Sutopolis
City.
And who was the gym leader there?
Wallace.
It was Wallace, indeed. On his knee, as always. And he had 5 Pokemon, the Pokemon trainer, Mike. What were those 5?
Melodic.
Yep.
Love Disc.
Yep.
Celio.
Yep. 2 more.
Seaking.
Yes, and 1 more.
Nah. Nope.
Master Ball.
Oh, Whiscash.
Whiscash.
Got it straight away. Nice one. Got it. You got it.
So, was
Melodic,
there any...
I take it you're talking about, yeah?
Yeah, Melodic. That's where I fell in love with Melodic. Do you know, I actually had a very big shock, pardon the pun, when I faced Wallace. Do you remember, or was there something that you were shocked by with Wallace's Pokemon there?
No. Why? Where you going with this?
So, I might be. Maybe I am wrong. Oh, that's a shame. I thought it was something. I remembered it being something else. Yeah, no, it's not.
I remember struggling very much with Wallace though because I didn't have a grass or an electric Pokemon on my team for this, so it was it was difficult.
So there was a time I remember, and I don't recall when.
Right.
That Seeking had the ability Thunderhorn or something.
Lightning Rod.
Lightning Rod. It wasn't this. This wasn't it. This wasn't the time. But there was a time where it had Lightning Rod, and I would use a Thunder move and obviously power it up, and it would be immune. I don't remember when it was. Apparently wasn't Gen 3.
No, I wasn't Gen 3, no.
So no, I had absolutely no issues at this point. At this point, I was pretty, I did try and use a Thunder move on the Whiscash, as which I was very much told.
Of course.
You can't do that, buddy. No, you should have learnt from the Lantern. No.
Or Lantern.
Yeah, but no, I think we're both quite comfortable.
No, it took me a couple of goes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you struggled. No, you struggled. So you didn't have, you said, a grass Pokemon or electric Pokemon, right?
Correct. I managed to get Celio down okay because I had Hariyama, because Celio is a part ice type, isn't it? In this gen?
Yeah, ice water.
Yeah, okay, so I didn't have no problem getting Celio down, but like Milotic took a lot. Because I'm sure Milotic had... Did Milotic have Rest? I think it did.
Yes, and Sleep Talk. And then Water Pulse. Oh my god, I'm remembering. It had Water Pulse. And then, God, I want to say it had Dragon Tail, but I don't know if it was.
No, it wouldn't have been Dragon Tail.
No, it wouldn't. It was, no, we're both wrong, dude. It definitely did in one of these games. Maybe Omega, but it didn't. It had Water Pulse, I was right.
Yeah.
It had Recover. It
wasn't Rest.
It had Ice Beam, and then it had Twister.
There you go. It was the Recover that kept getting me. And I think it was pure dumb luck how I won. I can't remember which one was in the lead, because it would just decimate half my team. Like Salamence ×4 with Ice Beam, Aggron fell, Swampert did mediocre damage, if anything. I got pummeled. I got absolutely pummeled.
Yeah, the water pulse was really, really annoying because it confused me again. It was just
the confusion for you, mate. Confusion for you.
I mean, but to be fair, MANELECTRIC, he earned his stripes.
Hold his weight.
He earned his stripes for sure.
Yeah.
I think looking back, when we've been thinking about what our parties were moving into the Elite Four, which we will touch on next episode, of course. I believe MANELECTRIC went all the way with me. I don't think I let him go, not after how incredible he was. And those are some more things, Michael, is some notable Pokemon that basically made the journey what it was. Those are other, another little topic. Moments and memories. Obviously talking about all the different systems that were introduced, like the Pokemon contest, the secret
double battles,
double battles,
the secret bases,
base.
Mate.
There were so many.
Dive,
and how it just did transport you into different areas and stuff. And there were so many secret little niches. The Reggie Rock and all of those. All of those.
Braille as a 12-year-old, yes.
Yeah, reading Braille as a 12-year-old. But when you figured out you had to use Flash, that was.
the accomplishment, mate. Honestly,
Indeed.
felt amazing. Felt amazing. That was a wonderful trip. I'm gonna go to bed and sit in bed and play a bit of Ruby and Sapphire now. Like hope you realize, not a Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I'm booting up the
Original.
SP. I'm booting up the SP.
You know, we were, you know, just very briefly. As much as we were gifted the soundtrack we were on the original Sapphire and Ruby, which we were, I have to give props to the remasters of every single piece of music that they did for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, because they leveled it up completely, and it really, really stands the test of time. When I moved to Sweden, that was what I'd listen to in the car. I would listen just to the OST, the full OST of Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, and I'd have it on repeat. And I still, to this day, on my YouTube, have a playlist called Pokémon, and that is what is inside of it.
Let's go! So I found a symphony orchestra in Japan that have done the entirety of the Gen 3 soundtrack, but orchestra form. And it is absolutely breathtaking. And I need to send you the link. I'll send you the link after the podcast, mate. It's
while
wonderful.
I remember, there is one that I really need to send you, and that is there's a guy who basically does all of this. This is our shout out, right? Just a quick one at the end.
There you go.
If you like Pokemon music, now this guy's very, very successful, but he's called Insane in the Rain Music. And
insane in the rain music. Yeah.
And I'm going to send you something. I've listened to this song probably more than any other song.
Oh, I know who that is. Yes, I recognize his face.
This is the one I urge you to watch and listen to this, just with nothing on, after the podcast.
The first thing I see, sorry, very quickly, the first that pops up, it says transforming the Thomas the Tank Engine theme into fast bebop jazz. What a legend.
You know what we're gonna do? You know what we're gonna do? Something a little bit different. We're gonna well, it's up to you. But if you would like to, we could listen to this now. Not now, but after. And see what you think. I'm in. All right.
I'm in, and I've just sent you the link to that orchestra.
To the orchestra as well. Perfect.
Honestly, please, if you're cleaning or whatever, put it on. It's oh my lord, like the feels, mate. That's all I can say. I found it. My son was watching Hey Dougie. I was like, Harry, we're not watching Hey Dougie anymore. We need to put this on. He was like, but Dad, I don't want to listen to that. I was like, you need to put it on the Sonos speakers full blast, and it was like ding 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 ding. Oh man.
And both of these links, by the way, will be in the description below if you are watching on any of the platforms that support it
too.
Yeah,
100%, 100%.
But yeah, that's that.
So good.
That Pokemon Trainer, Mike, is our first part one.
We've not even scratched the surface. I'm so happy. Oh mate. We've got so much, though. You were talking about all the mechanics. We have to touch on Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Oh, yeah.
We have to touch on Pokemon Colosseum and XD, the first 3D RPG adventures. Yeah. And we can't not talk about the remasters of Red and Green, Pokemon Fire Red and Pokemon Leaf Green that came out this time. Like, there's so much. We've got anime to talk about still. Like, there's TCG, which would be interesting. Like, there's so much, mate. So much. But so much. So I hope you did enjoy this one, everyone. This is episode 3 of the PokeCast with Brad and Mike. It is a pleasure, as always. If you've listened all the way through here, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Follow us on all the socials. Like, subscribe on the YouTube. Follow us on the other medias out there that you may or may not have listened to this on. And, of course, we'll be back next time for another episode of Hoenn, where I'm sure we will dive into some craziness around a lot of the topics we've just touched on, right? It's going to be nice. It's been a good fun ride. It's going to be good.
It's been great. So thank you all for listening, for those that have. And otherwise, I've had a great time. And I'm just happy to be here.
Happy to be here.
Yay!
He said the thing. He did the thing. But thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching if you have. And we will see you in episode 4. Take care, everyone.
See you later,
Bye
guys.
for now.
Bye.
Let's.
That
Oh,
was
that
a
was
good.
much
That was
better.
a good podcast. That was
That was
good.
much better.
That was really.